Hey couples, I'm going to get you started on our Marriage Basics series. Hopefully you're doing this with a marriage mentor, or maybe you're even doing this in a group setting. Here's why I wanted to provide this starter conversation. For the marriage mentors, it's a new experience for you and probably for the couple that you're going to mentor. And I think it's important that you recognize that there is an introductory process that should happen that makes the mentoring experience more comfortable. You need to think of it like when you meet a new couple in a social setting. You don't just launch into the super personal things and start asking questions about their marriage, right? You get to know one another. You ask just easy questions, right? It's a get to know you time. In this first lesson, that's what this is about. You're going to find some questions down below in the discussion question section that you can use to help get that first conversation started. I just wanted to give you a few other tips for you as the marriage mentor to think about how you should view this starter conversation with your mentoring couple. Here's the first tip. Build rapport. Here's what that means. Just like in any relationship that you have, in a work setting or with your friends, you have to establish a relationship of, I'm interested in getting to know you, you're interested in getting to know me, and we'll ask some easy questions to start off, but just to get to know one another. And that's really important in the marriage mentoring experience, that you build rapport from the very first meeting. That as the mentors, you make sure that you communicate to the couple, we care about you. We want to get to know you. We don't want this to be something that we're just checking a box to say we did something, that we really are invested in you and in your marriage. And that building rapport is really important to start off. Here's the second tip. Have them tell their story. Again, you're going to see the questions down in the discussion questions section that you can use, but have them tell their story. That's a great way to start off a conversation. How long they dated, how long have you been married, how many kids do you have, what do you do for a living, all those kinds of conversations. Just let them tell their story. And as the mentoring couple, you're just listening, you're just getting to know them. And again, as that rapport is being built, you are communicating with your listening skills and asking those questions that you really are interested in who they are as individuals and as a couple. So make sure that you ask about their story. And that's easier for people to tell that kind of information, right? It kind of gets things started, that if you're talking about where you work and what your hobbies are, it's easier to start with those kinds of questions before you get into some of the more personal things that come along with the Marriage Basics series. Here's the third tip. Make sure you share your own story. As the mentoring couple, it's just as important that you model an openness and a desire to be vulnerable to a degree, to want to share yourself with them, right? It isn't going to just be a one-sided thing, that even though as the mentoring couple, you're leading the conversation, you want the relationship to feel like we're invested in this together. And both of our marriages will benefit from the time that we spend going through Marriage Basics and any other conversation you might choose from the library. But make sure that you share your own story, that they get to know you as the mentoring couple. And here's the fourth tip. Just set the expectations for what the mentoring process is going to look like. This is where you kind of wind down the get to know you time and you get ready to start into the Marriage Basics. So this is where you're going to say from the marriage mentor training that you're going to send a conversation their way. You're going to choose that conversation, which will be Marriage Basics, the first lesson, and you will send that to them in advance. All of you will watch that in advance and come with your own thoughts and maybe even some of your own questions, and set the time of your next meeting that you'll meet together, and you're on your way. So it's important that you are building that rapport, that you let them tell their story, you tell your story, and then you set the expectations. Here's how the mentoring relationship's going to work, when we're going to meet, what we're going to do, come prepared. And lo and behold, you're going to find that it's a very easy, structured way to have some really meaningful conversations and to make a difference in another couple's life. That's exciting. I hope you see this as an exciting opportunity. And again, this first starter conversation just gets those wheels turning, and now you can go into the Marriage Basics series and get started on that first principle, which is all about love.